welcome. That's a weird dark screen. Hold on. There we go. That's a slightly less weirdly dark screen. Welcome. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Ambitious Crossover Stream. The stream that tries to cross the streams.
Yeah, we have no idea what we're doing.
The stream that tries to cross the streams and destroy the universe, just like in Ghostbusters.
And I'm so mad at myself because right when we started playing like the Ambitious Crossover theme music, I had the best thought that we should have played the Peaches song, and then I was like, wait a minute, Nintendo will probably come like flying through the window to stop us. Peaches.
There's a YouTuber I like, a music YouTuber called Charles Cornell, and he just did a video. I didn't watch it yet, but it's a video about how that song is a banger, I guess.
It gets stuck in your head.
Yeah, I know I'm letting this sound, the background noises of the Breath of the Wild just play here, but we're not gonna play the game quite yet. We're gonna first start with the trailer. We have so much to talk about this Sunday on the pod.
Our podcast, that other thing that we do.
Oof, a lot of stuff.
The other thing.
Yeah, all we're gonna be doing is like we're gonna be looking forward to watching the Love Is Blind live finale. I need you to understand
we will
something.
not be able to talk about that on the pod because it won't have happened yet.
Right, it won't have happened yet. But that
messy ass last episode is going to happen though.
Indeed, and that's also why I'm like eager for the finale, the live finale. You know,
I am so eager for the live finale because I was on YouTube last night and I learned some dirt. I hope it gets brought up in the reunion show.
Oh, interesting.
There's some dirt.
I bet it will be. Because, you know, when people ask me, like, why do you watch the Oscars? Why do you watch the woke Oscars? I usually say, like, you know, I like...
Because sometimes somebody gets slapped in the face.
Slapped in the face. And people, like, forget, like, before the slap in the face, there was the Warren Beatty misstating who the winner was. And then them having to like take it back.
Like no.
It's an amazing moment.
Guys.
It's kind of like the Miss World. Do you remember that clip from Miss World? Who was the host? Was it where he screwed up the winner of Miss World, and it was like a really cringe, embarrassing moment. Maybe we can watch it. Let's see. Let me look. Let's see if we can do this here.
Yeah, the only thing I know about Miss World right now is France.
Oh, Steve Harvey. Thank you, Krista. Steve Harvey messed up the Miss World thing.
Oh, my God.
Miss World.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? That one that they just had. And, like, all the contestants are, like, introducing themselves by country. It's like, Ecuador, Egypt, Israel, France. She just, like, bombs it. It was hilarious.
Let's see. Is this the... Let me see.
They look like they're about to get married.
Can you hear this? Here, let me see if we can do this. Apologies if I bring up any windows with a deep fake porn.
I don't know what this man does.
I don't know how this computer works yet, so pardon me if there's any top secret stuff from my Discord window, top secret U.S. intel that being fed on Discord.
Oh my God.
Hold on, how do I do this?
Are you trying to impress people on Discord again?
Yes. Oh, there we go. Ha. I think that's working.
Don't they look like they're about to get married?
It does look like they're about to get married, but it's that Miss World thing, you know, where they're like, "Oh, we're sisters," you know, and so we're gonna support each other. Okay.
I still love you.
This is transformative content, so under fair use law, we're actually allowed to do this. It's also from a channel that itself stole it, so
yeah.
In Judaism, they say "Agonev miganav patur," like if you steal from a thief, then you are yourself like innocent. So yeah, that's gonna be my excuse, Your Honor. Here we go.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. Oh
my God, we gotta turn this down. Okay.
Best night ever.
Guys, if you hear it okay or don't hear it okay, tell me, because we gotta.
I have to apologize.
Oh, how are you gonna wait until after they put the crown on her?
Because they told, like, what is he gonna do?
Like, stop it in the middle? Like, well, it's like on the Oscars.
Runner-up is Colombia.
She's about to cut his ass. She's got a razor somewhere in that hair, and she's about to kill him.
Oh my god.
Poor Miss Philippines does not know what to do right now.
None
She's
of
like,
them know.
I don't.
Here, and she just said to her, "You won." That is.
She's just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I don't want to do anything.
Yeah. Hey Jen, are we Hassan now?
Random shit on the internet.
Actually, I think we're not technically Hassan until we go to the bathroom and let this play on our stream, other people's content.
We're not Hassan until I call you ass taster.
I
guess now we're Hassan.
I listened back to that clip. I gotta say, I gotta give myself props for then in the intro to the show calling myself the ass taster. Thought that was very funny. Anyway, here, hold on, let's keep going.
2015 is
She's like, I don't want to go over there because I'm afraid. She's like, I don't know. I'm.
Yes, JVG, me trying to use Talmudic lessons when the judge is asking me why I torrented the Discord leak. I was going to ask you, JVG, whether or not you thought the trailer filled the shoes of the. But we're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that.
This
Anyway,
is a weird side tangent. I don't know how we got here.
it was because it was about why we're watching the Love Is Blind finale live.
Yeah. And now we're watching Miss Universe.
And as Jen said, at any given time, somebody can smack somebody else, which at the finale of Love Is Blind is certainly possible.
I wouldn't be shocked if somebody swung on somebody. Like
Oof.
I said, I see some dirt.
Yeah.
There's some
See, that's
dirt.
why it's a shame we're never gonna get a DC season.
No, they better find somebody. They better find like 20 people in this town who can like make it past the security clearance and want to be on this show, because I will not be denied.
Yeah, apparently it's hard. It's hard for them to find contestants because like everybody knows everybody in DC. Jen and I had a
because
whole,
we're all trash people here, and like everybody's already dated everybody.
Yeah, Jen and I had a whole great riff that nobody will ever hear because we just did it to each other about all of the weird DC things that could have happened because of Love Is Blind. Where you like all of a sudden that was from the Twitter one where it was like imagine two people like suddenly discover who each other are and they got to go disclose to their bosses who they're dating now. Oh, I'm sorry. I fell in love with the tobacco lobbyist. Don't blame me. I didn't know what he looked like until
I
later.
didn't know he was a tobacco lobbyist. I didn't even see him. No, my hilarious prediction is that people are going to be in the pods, and it's going to be like, wait a minute. Didn't I go out on a date with you once?
Yeah, this is the noisiest day of the year. I think there's
What
like a
is
Hell's
that?
Angels. I think there's like a Hell's Angels
Is that
chapter.
outside?
Right? Yes.
What? I swear we just live in like a very quiet part of DC. I have no idea what's going on.
It's the day we all have to have the windows open because it's 90 and there's no AC in the building yet.
I had to go yell at birds for like interrupting the stream, even though birds aren't real. What?
All right, guys. I think there's like a Fast and the Furious movie filming on this street today.
Fast and the old.
I was gonna say it's
the
Biden,
fast
but
and, the fast and the CGI.
okay. So
Anyway.
I like that we can pop up a YouTube video here. That was also like a proof of
was
concept.
fun,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I didn't go to the wrong browser window. Never mind.
Okay, pro tip: just always close out your browser windows before going on the Twitch stream.
Yeah, no, actually,
By
my
the
biggest
way,
enemy is
people.
my biggest enemy is search history, like where it pops up like your previous searches.
Clear cookies, cache, browsing history, close out of all your windows.
Yeah, well, like, but every time you stream, so like I have a clean,
Or-
I opened a clean browser. I opened like a different. I literally downloaded Firefox just to do.
We're literally ripping on the guy who got popped watching the Pokemon deep fake porn video.
Atrioc.
Which like if you stream for a living, why don't you have a computer just devoted to that where that's all you do, and then like you do your dirt on like some other computer? Like
That's the thing.
I mean,
So
that's just me.
I come from the world of audio, and they taught us, like, the paradigm was you have your audio computer and then you have your everything else computer. One computer is just it's so it runs quickly and smoothly, and there's no garbage on the hard drive, because when you're recording like high quality digital audio and it's writing it to the hard drive, you want your hard drive to be defragmented, all kinds of shit like that. Like, so it does it well. And so like you don't do garbage on it. This is like that plus a million, because it's also content. You want a content wall, right? You want some kind of firewall between the thing that is for public facing and the thing that is you facing, right?
Plus, just watch your porn on your phone, people. Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Uncivilized ass people
We
watching your
need
porn
a-
on your desktop.
Do you want to do, is Yoko here? Do you want to do like a Yoko cam? Do you want to do a...
She's right there. She's not doing anything, though.
It's just for the, just so that, because people will like tune into the thing right now and all they'll see is just like a switch window.
Well, we should actually, like, talk about the thing that we meant to talk about in the first place.
No, we're gonna. This is,
So that people aren't just looking at the Nintendo Switch logo.
yeah, well, I know, well, that's this way they can be looking at the Nintendo Switch logo and Yoko. Well, no, I see, but never mind.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
When she comes back here, we'll...
Right, she's just kind of, she's not doing anything interesting right now anyway. You're not missing anything.
Yeah, okay, here, I'm just gonna point this at the wall. Otherwise it's
Yeah, you were very
getting
weird.
compromising.
Yeah, you're very weird about your webcam.
I don't like having a webcam pointed at me ever. Just when I'm sitting around. I don't know. It just feels weird to have like just a camera pointed at you.
Feds are watching.
Feds are... Again, you've never seen that meme of that streamer who like jacked off and didn't realize he was on cam?
Wow! What are you... Oh
It's
my
very,
God,
it's
people.
a very funny video. Not that I
You're-
masturbate. I'm
you're-
a good Catholic.
You're not any kind of Catholic.
Shh, Jen.
You're
Now
Israeli Jew. You're not any kind of Catholic.
the God of the Catholics is still watching me when I...
Hey, you think whatever you want to think. You're doing that. That's your business. If you want to think that there's some guy that lives up in the sky that's watching you while you do that, that's your business.
Oh, let's see. Is this the webcam? Yeah, it is, right?
The wall.
Okay, good. If I do this, you know, like because I'm gonna start playing the trailer, and it'll be better if it's not just the trailer playing on stream here. I'm trying to find a thing that I can.
Because now what people are gonna be looking at the wall. Like
At the
that's not that like the wall is not
Gonna
interesting. Our walls are not interesting.
Okay, well we'll do
Okay,
that.
Noam's walls are more interesting than mine, but
I mean,
you're not looking at his interesting
Yeah.
wall.
Okay, Tears of the Kingdom trailer.
Okay.
It premiered today and it blew everybody's minds. And should we watch it once through and then do little bitsy bobsy whatever?
We can. I mean, for the people that haven't seen it yet, maybe we should just like shut up and let them watch the damn trailer.
I don't know if we should shut up. It's okay that we talk during it because again, if you really just want to watch it uninterrupted, go watch. It's everywhere, right? We can talk over it a little, but like we'll let it play. Like I'm not gonna stop it.
Okay.
The music, one of the best parts of this trailer to me. Ooh, I can turn this down for us a little bit. That is very loud. This is about where everybody started crying. Because it's the main thing. Such a good rendition. And it comes back in later, too. Very evocative of the 2017 trailer that everybody was comparing this to. Same sort of vibe in the beginning.
Oh no.
Here we go. Dungeons. This is like Elden Ring. Fal Hylian in search of the Elden Triforce.
Zelda, we rely on your knight.
and that legendary sword he carries. Our last line of defense will be Link.
I like her little Zonai outfit.
Link.
Tears of the Kingdom.
This music. Da-da-da. Koji Kondo does it again. See her building carts to...
I know why I am here. It's something only I can do.
Something only I can do.
Do not look away. You witness a king's revival and the birth of his new world.
I guess you're right, JVG. I just associate that theme with him.
Okay.
This, again, they're bringing it in.
But you are not alone. Link. You are our final hope.
Da-da-dun.
Help me, Link. You're our only hope.
Link. You must find me.
Nice. You mean that? Wah, wah, wah. It's some kind of. I think it might be one of those Asian violins. That's why people called it. What?
Oh no, I was trying to get you to cancel it before it
Oh,
started.
sorry again. I think it's like. I think it's like that. You know those like Japanese violin, the very kind of waily. Do you know what I'm talking about? Is this ringing any bells to anyone?
I'm sure somebody out there knows the name of the instrument.
Yeah. Okay, so now
we just don't know it.
yeah, so now we can like. Oh wait. Oh, so sorry. This is the gameplay demonstration. Go away.
Which is also just absolutely adorable.
Yeah, but now we can like we can kind of jog. Asamishin. I think that is it. Is it Asamishin? Oh, Kokyu. One or the other. I think it's one of those. I think they just combined that with like the what you call it, the instrumental music. Here, Jen, let's shuffle this around so I can bring the keyboard up here.
Okay.
Here, move your stuff. See, this is very slick and professional.
This is very
guys.
us. It's just
It's a
chaotic.
Chinese violin. Yeah. Eru. See, I'm going to end up buying a bunch of these things. There's a YouTuber I really like who just buys random weird instruments and like samples them. It's very fun. Okay. So
The graphics are stunning.
I think there was a lot of talk about how they probably were able to optimize this game engine since when it came out, it was like early in the Switch's life cycle, and it also had to run on Wii U, which in itself, like when you need your game to run on multiple gens, that's an issue.
Yeah.
Oh, link deleted. Oh, is it? Oh, did you post some kind of link and it won't let you? I don't know how to.
Twitch is like that.
Yeah, I don't know how to uncancel
Yeah.
that. Let me see. Pin this message. Click the reply. No, I can't.
Twitch be like that.
JVG, you can DM me on Twitter if you want.
But yeah,
yeah,
it
so-
looks beautiful.
So there's a chance that it'll like run better, and people will think that it's like some kind of magic that they squeezed that out of the hardware. But I think it is because the original did not.
Right. You're only making it for one piece of hardware now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, this is very nice with the lens flare and all that shit. Now, let's see.
It's just
gonna
the
keep going.
colors look so rich.
When we see this is like in the 2017 trailer where it shows you like creatures in the world.
Yeah, I'm just a
This-
guy
yeah.
jumping a tree.
This feature, oh, you can't see. Oh, you can see my cursor. You can see my mouse cursor on stream. That's great.
Okay.
this thing because I can do pointing. See over here.
Mm-hmm.
Here, this is Link's head.
Here is Link. He's
Yeah,
flying
because like
through the
here's one of
air.
the flying. Here's one of the flying cubes. The labyrinths probably. Here's another one of those. Oh, by the way, people who think these things are like jump points. If they're jump points, why would they have them on the Sky Islands? Unless they're a go back downy point as well. I'm gonna use the pro terminology. Go back downy point. Yeah, this feature dominates the skyline in a lot of the trailers. It's this kind of large, extending. It looks kind of like a stadium of some sort. There's a little chest here. So I guess this is some kind of challenge temple or something where at some point you can come out to this ledge and get it, but then you can fall past it. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to gate these areas, unless this is like a opening part of the game. Oh yeah, the official art. Thank you, JVG. The official art for. Can I do this?
Yeah.
No, I can't do that. Oh.
It's been posted to Twitter. I saw a couple of people.
Hold on. Let's see if I can do
Post it up.
this. Did that work? Or will that not work? Nope. Okay, never mind. Anyway, yeah, the official artwork of the Ganon.
Yeah, it is very samurai.
Yeah, it is very samurai. Yeah, again, more kind of Sky Islands, more and this part. Come on.
Epic music.
You cannot be hyped.
I was about to say you can't not be hyping. Like listen to that music, you gotta be hyped.
It's impossible. You have no heart. There's no beating heart in your chest. Where you see Zelda at the end of the trailer, maybe. That's an interesting. Hold on. Okay, this shot, right? I was gonna show you guys before the stream started. I wanted to, because this is a shot of Kakariko Village from the sky, and I tried to bring myself in the game. Oh, okay. I tried to bring myself in the game to the spot that you see in the trailer, and it is basically here. Let's see. I can show you guys. Like this. Doesn't look like it, right? Because it's like boom and boom, right? But if you look, I'm going to move the screen a little like this.
But this does work really nice to show like the contrast in graphics though. Between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
So
like
you see this hold on here. We actually need to do this, right? There we go.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So you see this little table-y mountain
plateau,
and these two where the wheel hangs. Here's Hyrule Castle, and this is Death Mountain. And so if I shut this back off, this is the butte. The big wheel is going to be here, right between these two. Like your screen would be full of this like thing that crashed from the sky, and here below us is Kakariko Village. And if I turn the thing back on now, this other window, you see there's Kakariko in the lower right-hand corner. And I believe that is Talonayeg, the shrine, right? Is that where it is? So where this spirally thing is, that's where the Sheikah Shrine is right now. I can't do a perfect recreation of this for the simple part that you can't... This shot that you see in the trailer is an out-of-body shot. And I can't pull the camera out from like the perspective that I'm in, obviously in this game.
You can't do like a third-person perspective.
Yeah. Also, Kilton is there right now, but I don't see any other like the places that are, because like there should be a Sheikah Shrine somewhere here, at the foot of this place, and there isn't. That's probably Talonayeg. Okay, we can keep going. I just thought that was fun because I was like, I gotta see what that place looks like right now, because I think some of it is about Hyrule needing to be rebuilt and stuff like that.
Clearly, something catastrophic has taken place.
Yeah, this is Typhlo Ruins, which in Breath of the Wild is always dark. You got to run around with like a torch there, and the darkness here went away, which is interesting. Yeah, this storm area here. This is a shot that got lots of people excited. This image, because of the Arbiter's grounds or even the Shadow Temple. There's a couple of older Zelda temples that are in the desert. They either sand like gets drained and you go into them, or they rise from the sand, stuff like that. And again, shrines. That's everybody wanted shrines. Everybody wants shrines.
Everybody loves shrines.
Give me the shrine.
Shrines are so hot right now.
They're so hot right now.
So hot right now.
Yes, and so the idea of there being a big desert temple of something like that, the implications of that, whatever, dungeons, temples,
Dungeons are hot right now.
Oh,
too.
shrines. No, whatever. But like a shrine, not like a small shrine. Not like a Breath of the Wild shrine. I actually think there won't be any shrines. I think that might be... Yeah, I think there won't be any shrines.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like it's like... The thing I like most about this trailer is I like a trailer that kind of shows like, okay, what are we doing in this game? Like, what is the main sort of plot thrust of this game? And it doesn't look like this game has a completely different plot line than Breath of the Wild, and so I don't think it's going to be like, okay, let's wander around and look at shrines and kind of poke around and do things. Like, this feels like this is going to be not linear in a way, like it's still going to be open world, but it's still definitely going to be like there is a like set progression of things that you will need to do to reach the end goal.
That definitely feels true, and we're gonna see this in a couple of things in the tasks that you need to do, for example. Yeah, okay, there you go. Okay, so that's interesting. This with the sand being sucked out of the desert like this.
Sand snakes.
And then this shot of some kind of big underground. You're wearing the Goron heat armor. This looks like a mine. There's mine carts. There's an area later, a shot later that's like an Indiana Jones thing where you're fighting on mine carts.
Good times.
Let's see. Yeah, sky ship of some sort, which is pretty cool. We don't in this like area that is constantly under storm. Then this shot, which here's what I think about this. Oh, okay. So did you see what just happened? Look.
Yeah, like you go in.
No, but so there's nothing here, and then a little thing shoots into it. This little Sheikah object shoots into it. This might be some of the elements that you can also like collect and like build into stuff. Then this, obviously, a really cool Mission Impossible-y looking thing that I noticed something about, which is that you use like a wingsuit, like one of those wingsuits that see that the like extreme like skydiver people kind of use. See, and someone on Twitter pointed out that this could be the Yiga hole, the hole in the where you fight the boss of the Yiga clan, which in Breath of the Wild is just a big hole in the ground, and when you like jump in it, you die. But because it's like a long, circular, unending shaft hole, people are like, maybe it's that. And if you look at this image, look down here, like it keeps going and going.
Like it's clearly going to be like some kind of like puzzle that you have to figure out your way through.
Thank you, Lost in Hyrule. That is actually what I'm doing. I'm jogging with a period and comma. Here, see, like frame. We can advance frame by frame.
Yeah, this is one where like you're going to have to figure out like how to time this exactly so that you don't die.
Yeah, this is very cool. And see, it starts simple if you notice.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna like, oh, okay, and then like,
you can even see, if you look at this, see the first the first gate you pass through has just two lasers.
And then
the second one has a pattern of like a grid pattern of squares, and then the next
one's like, oh shit,
starts to look like a modernist painting.
I was about to say it's asymmetrical, which is gonna be really difficult to work around.
Yeah. Okay, the next one is this, which looks like the sphere that you fly into earlier. And you kind of got to gyroscope it in some way. You got to kind of align it directionally. Oops. Then we go into what is clearly one of the labyrinths. You're flying through it. They're probably going to be repurposed in some interesting way, which is cool.
I cannot get over the graphics, though. These are just beautiful. Like, I see where the time went. Like, I'm not mad at it now. I see where the time went.
Oh my god, that's so good. Sorry. I was just handed a drink that was delicious. Some kind of Zonai weapon. I like this. This move set is actually a move set that Bokoblins have in Breath of the Wild, where they kind of spin the club. But look at this. The Hylings are fighting. There's Hylings here with the shield. This guy has a pot on his head. Who does that?
Can we call him a pot boy?
Yeah, Alexander, also known as the Iron Fist. But there's a few scenes here, we're going to talk about this in a second, that looks like you're recruiting people to fight with you.
Well, yeah, and Zelda makes the whole point of saying that you're not fighting alone. You're going to have friends, and it looks like there's... I don't know if this is going to be part of like the actual gameplay itself, but it looks like there's going to be like some melee action, and I don't know if you can like literally invite other people to play with you. Or
Yeah, oh, that I was thinking that too.
Kind of like the way I guess you technically can do that in Elden Ring if you do like multiplayer, like in the melee scenes, you can invite other people to like play with you in those scenes.
Yeah, you certainly can, and it's awesome. Wait, does Link have the Sheikah Slate in this elevator? Somebody said. Let me look. Oop. What is this? Not now.
Go way up there.
Not now, Satan. Yo, you're right. You're absolutely right. Can I do a zoom in? No, I don't think I can. Oh, I could do it here. Well, that would be dumb though. Never mind. You're absolutely right though. He does have the Sheikah Slate. Oh, what if I do this? I mean, you can see it, right? It's in the corner, but huh. Ooh, I bet the I can't wait for Zeltic to talk about this for Commonwealth Realm. I don't know. I like a lot of these like Zelda YouTubers. Excuse me. It's just really, really hot. And then we get, I don't know, dragon person. Probably a Zonai.
A baddie.
Yes, belay. Yes, belay. His slate has been converted to a belayer, somebody says.
Link's going to be belaying his way up the mountain.
Yes, exactly. I like that. He's going to send Mount Doom. He's going to free solo Mount Doom. Yes, but then there's also another. There's all kinds of stuff going on here, right? So we have this character that we don't really know anything about, Epona, another Zonai boss of some sort coming out of a wall. This is a weird thing. The rebuilt Sanctum in Hyrule Castle. Is this a flashback? Is there time travel? We don't know. This is just like a cutscene scene part. This is the
cutscene.
A cutscene scene part. More terminology. Some other creature who might be the creature we saw before, but it might be a bait and switch. It's a little hard to tell. Here more. We saw this thing in the previous trailer where Link kind of has to tilt it around because look, it's probably a bridge like between these two,
and so you gotta
you gotta turn this like from our perspective you're turning it clockwise so that then these act like as a bridge across this. I think that you'll see later with Link doing kind of moon jumps. I think that because you don't have bombs here, the Sheikah bombs, and you can't do wind bombs and stuff like that, going upwards where you can't climb upwards is going to be the gated progression here. Like you have to do a platforming challenge. You have to go get this item to get to this new cluster of Sky Islands because they're above you and there's no way for you to get higher without doing what they want you to do. That's a very good, smart idea of how you take a sandboxy world like this where you can climb everything and build
and add like some structure to it.
Yeah, do essentially like progression bottlenecks.
Right, where you have to like, okay, it's not just completely open world. Like you do have to do like thing A before you can do thing B.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if those are items, that you get from dungeons, which will make the progression more classic Zelda. Because I do think that the best, like one of the easiest quote unquote ways for them to like improve on Breath of the Wild is to reintroduce slightly some of the elements that they stripped down to make this what it was. Just slowly bleed them in. And it does look like they listened to what people wanted and said, okay, let's do a little bit of that. Let's keep going. Because like I said, I think that rebuilding Hyrule in a way that's similar to how you do Tarrytown in Breath of the Wild, iterating on that design idea of you doing missions and it literally changing the world around you, that would be very good. Again, another just like wide shot of look down
Of
here.
beautifulness.
What is all of this? There's so much shit going on, right? People were like, oh, same map. But like, look at every ground shot in this trailer.
Oh.
The landscape is just like strewn with shit. There's rocks and there all kind of stuff that's dropped down and you're like, what is this? I gotta go look at it.
Right, like clearly something has happened.
And so in a way, like, you know the world, but then the exploration becomes, let's go see what's different.
Right, because clearly, like I said, it's going to be different because, like, obviously you have all this other stuff, and it's like, how did it get here? What happened? Like,
Yes.
What happened in Hyrule that now we have to go do this?
Used murder weapon salesman says, a game where you can make a difference that isn't just someone saying, hey, you did it, would be very welcome. Yeah, that is like... It is an interesting combination of intrinsic and extrinsic rewards because it isn't exactly an extrinsic reward. It's not like you're getting an item or money, but you are getting a better map. You're getting maybe more shop locations. You're getting maybe a goddess statue because Tarrytown gives you shops and it gives you a goddess statue there where you can like trade in your spirit orbs if you want to. And that's not exactly an extrinsic reward, but it's sort of a semi. It's like I said, it's like a combination intrinsic and extrinsic. Like you feel accomplished having changed the world,
Right.
and the world now has a new kind of safe haven for you, but it isn't something that you own on your person. It's a very interesting idea. Here. A very cool fuse idea here where a shield is fused to a sword, and so a parry, like you parry... It's like a perfect parry of some sort. A very interesting... This looks like it's the tutorial area from the gameplay demonstration as well.
Right, I was actually going to bring that up where in the gameplay trailer, they bring up the idea of fusing things together to make a new thing. Like, okay, I have a stick and I have a rock and I'm going to fuse them together. I swear, that gameplay, that trailer is just so fucking adorable. I don't care. He's so cute.
And yeah, I do think that this might be like the area where you kind of learn the combat.
Yeah, or that you can like fuse things together that are a little better than a stick and a rock, like a sword and a shield.
Now here is the thing that we saw from the inside before. I think here's the spiral beach from Breath of the Wild where you got to do that. You got to carry that big orb all around on foot and fight all the enemies in the way. Is this some kind of pit? I can't tell. It looks like maybe there's a hole in the ground here of some sort. And also this looks like it's moving. Like the entrance. Yeah, you see it's like it's in motion, so you got to find... This looks like some kind of Goron battle or something. Does a quick dodge out of the way of it. Here's you and your companion character. I think it's like someone said it's one of the Rito children. But look at this. So Rito's area looks to be like in constant storm of some sort. So is this some kind of like trampoline that jumps you up? Yeah,
Maybe,
see?
yeah,
Do you see that it does a little
bouncy,
boing? Yeah, it does a
yeah.
little boing. You're flying up. You're going past one of those airships in the background. There's another boat here. See, this is like a boat. It's like a sky ocean of some sort. Here's you transporting villagers on a cart. Now, this either is a cart that you built, or I'm not sure that that's true. I think there are things in the world that you didn't build. Thanks, JVG. I'll talk to you later. This just means you can take parts off of this as well. So, like, you'll find things that are... I'll show you later in a shot that comes later. There are things that you can like find in the world that are fused together and like remove parts from them for your own like use. Mm-hmm. This is fun. This is using the recall reverse power to beat an Octorok by launching its own like rock back at him. There's also like what's going on here? Yeah, see, there's like an entrance into the mine here behind us. It looks like. A rocket fused to your shield that's taking you to the top of this. You're on an island. I don't know where. I can't pin the...
Right.
I can't geolocate where we are on the map here, but it is some small island. It might be near where the Zonai ruins are in Breath of the Wild. Here's the thing. The weird moon jumpy. See where he does a little like low gravity boots kind of
Right.
jump? But yeah, for example, this island that's above us, presumably the only way to get from where we are here to there, is to jump across these platforms because there is no other way.
Right.
Which I like. There's more bubbles there in the background, like the one we traveled in before. Those, see, with the little Zonai thing in the middle of them. And then look at these islands that just go up, 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 and far, and this kind of like ascending thing. Another of these labyrinths. This is where Hyrule Castle is. You could probably do a pretty good job of like locating where almost all of this stuff is. Again, I'm impressed by, because like look over here. Over here, these are big pillars and stuff, but look, like this all continues over here. This looks like an Elden Ringy underworld. Yeah, speaking of Elden Ring, also, and here's like an amazing scene of you doing a mecha battle.
Right. Like what?
With like a big slab. It has a little like arm with a cannon on it and wheels or something like that.
You're just in a concrete block.
Yeah. You're firing a ruby. You fuse a ruby to an arrow. Who knows what that does? Rubies are pretty valuable. So like, I wonder if it has some kind of special status effect if there are enemies who are vulnerable to it. I'm sure there's going to be stuff like that. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, in the same way that, like cooking recipes and stuff like that became like Breath of the Wild lore, like, oh, do you know that if you do this with this, it's also going to be stuff like that. Hey, do you know that if you shoot an arrow of this kind, this thing can happen? I think there's going to be a lot of that, a lot of environmental systems interacting. Here, this is the scene I was thinking of. So Link shoots an arrow here at some kind of contraption that existed before. It looks like some kind of security system that they built or something like that. That's made up of a Zonai battery, a wheel, and laser elements that are attached to it. So that when you start, the wheel starts spinning and the laser things start firing. And so you do it, you're like giving them a taste of their own medicine. But then presumably you can also like take off parts of this thing to use for your own. You want to take off the lasers, or you need the wheel for something or other.
Right.
Then you could do that. This is some kind of sky boss. Scary, spooky, scary sky boss. Now we got the introduction of Ganondorf, I think. That's a tier, probably the tears of the kingdom, literally. A bunch of Lynels that are like super Lynels. Look at this guy with his like extra horns and stuff.
It's all extra.
Yeah, they look like even nastier than regular Lynels.
Right.
Ganondorf, voiced by Matt Mercer, the voice actor Matt Mercer. That's a pretty good looking Ganondorf.
Just a very anime feel to it.
Love this too. You're up on one of these again, these kind of like Greco looking things. It's like a mud gator. Here's your little Rito companion character. You're on a mission with them. Oh, here, see? Who's this then? This could be the charred, blackened character we saw before, or a different Zonai, or Zelda in her goddess form. Look, what are those things? Those aren't sand. Those aren't the sand things that you ride, right? Hold on, what's going on here? Okay, it's unclear if these shots are actually connected, but some major big laser cannon-y thing is being fired at a horde of these Moldugas, I think. These might be Moldugas. Let's see. Let's keep going. Ooh, sorry, I'm all hiccupy. Yeah, it is a Molduga. See? It's a bunch of It's like a horde of Moldugas being hit by this like mega giant laser thing. We got Riju. If you watched my Breath of the Wild streams, Lady Riju. I did a little accent. The Lady Riju. It's a flashback, and it might be Zelda from 10,000 years ago. I know everything is possible. There, Riju's doing a little dance. So you're like, it's almost like you're gathering like bands of people to help you fight. So you got this guy with the bucket helmet. You got a Goron. You got someone who looks like an actual like horse-ridden Hylian. You got a Gerudo warrior. And yeah, it looks like you're gathering like people to fight. Hold on.
It's just a ragtag group of friends.
Yeah,
trying
see
to
more
fight
islands
evil.
here up in the sky. Here's you fighting with Sidon, like you're double teaming someone, which is really interesting. Like I really would love to be able to fight along with some of the NPCs, like in a battle sequence.
But I also think it would be cool, like I said, if they did enable some kind of like multiplayer sort of situation where like you could invite friends along to do that battle. Like I think that would be fun. But again, that's also kind of like not really the jam of this franchise, but
Yeah, sure.
like I said, it would be fun.
Now there's someone spotted. This is like 2 frames long, and somebody actually noticed this. So you got Riju and you got Sidon. You got the little Rito kid, and then there's, if you look here in these 2 frames, here, this thing, and here you see it here, is one of the Goron like rock breaker things. So there is a Goron here. It's the kid from the Goron mission in Breath of the Wild. I can't remember his name, but for some reason you don't see him here. But you're presumably going to fight Gleeok, who now kind of pops up here. I don't know what this sword is that Link draws. Look at this. It looks like a butterfly wing sword of some sort.
Very nice, though.
Yeah. Or an
Curious
ice.
to see what it's used for.
Some sort of ice blade.
Well, I
or-
mean, if you're fighting like a fiery thing, maybe that would be helpful.
It's a good point. Hold on, let me go back. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah.
Gleeok looks like the Hydra from Hercules. I mean, that's probably what he was based on. Oh, and he's like, okay, that's cool. Definitely a cool looking. And then Zelda with the Master Sword, which is interesting. Wait, so she has the Master Sword and she has her Zora outfit. That's very interesting. And then, yeah, it goes title card. And then right after that, we can just... What?
Too far.
What was that? What did it do?
You broke it.
I broke it. Yeah, whatever. Here, there's nothing really... Oh, someone
Link,
thinks it was that ledge.
You must find me. Yeah, that was that. Yeah, this is the part that they were talking about how whatever that little like chest thing.
Yeah.
Like that's what they were talking about.
Mm-hmm. That's a pretty good call for whoever made that call. I like that theory. Yeah, and that's about it. That's where the trailer ends, right?
I feel like that was a really solid game trailer.
I mean, a solid is putting it mildly. I mean, people, and by people I mean me.
Well, not just you.
Flipped out. No, I know, but I mean, I'm just saying,
I follow plenty of people on Twitter that also are hyped for this too, and everybody like the general vibe was like everybody really liked this trailer.
And Jen knows I'm an animated reactor, and oh boy, was I animated. I was.
We should have filmed that.
Yeah, well, you know who to send those complaints to.
The content.
That complaint email. So yeah, I think that's all we have to say. All we have to say about that. We've only been speaking about it for 15 minutes.
Yeah, you know.
We could have done a full podcast episode just about that. I think the rest of the time, I don't know if we're gonna play a lot of game today. I think we ended up with like more of like call-in level material, but with like visual aids, which I think is pretty nice to be able to do.
Right, and also, I mean, are we done with Zelda? Are we done with Tears of the Kingdom, or do we want to move on to Mario? Because we didn't get to talk about it on Sunday because we were busy talking about like actually like important, relevant things.
Yeah, so
not the Mario movie.
I just have Mario movie footage to play over us talking about it.
Pages.
Yeah, I don't think we can do that. Unfortunately. Can I do
I can do it.
Can I? They can't tell me not to do it.
I can do it. I
Yeah.
don't know if you could. This is one of my favorite scenes from the movie.
Yes. Wait, I need a little like.
There's nothing to hope for but the sweet release of death.
Yes. Okay, so the Mario movie. It's, hugely successful. On some level, what we say and what like the naysayers say or whatever is irrelevant because it is a gigantic success, right? And Nintendo was very afraid for years to do stuff after the previous Mario movie
'Cause
went
it was
fucked.
Garbage.
You know what? I don't like when people say it was bad
Well,
because yeah.
Okay, you finish and I'll make my point.
Okay, because it is bad, but
It is bad.
it's not like Morbius. Like it's a very interesting bad, and so it's almost like we need a new name for stuff like that because I still find it fascinating. I think some of the production design for it is truly amazing, and some of the choices in it are baffling, but in like fascinating ways. And yeah, there's also like interesting behind the scenes stories about it, about how Hoskins and John Leguizamo hated it and were drunk all the time. And it's worth if you know some kind of YouTuber who talks about movies like that, go find what they say about this movie. It's an interesting story.
Which, I mean, when you know the backstory, it's extra funny that Leguizamo wants to talk shit about this movie.
Yeah.
But I hadn't really thought about the original Mario movie in quite some time. And when we went to go see the Mario movie, and this is backstory for anybody who has access to an Alamo movie theater in your area. So, not just for the Mario movie, but for every movie. They curate about a half-hour long, like, reel of things that are related to either the movie itself or the themes within the movie. So we definitely made a point to get there in time to watch the reel for this one because we wanted to see exactly what it would be. And it was really fun. Like they curated a lot of commercials, but for Japanese products and stuff like that. And I'd forgotten Haze of Time, forgotten just how commercialized the Mario franchise was back in the late 80s, early 90s, and how there was just Mario everything.
Oh, you do you keep talking.
I'd forgotten about that. Again, Haze of Time, but during this reel, they showed the trailer for that original Super Mario Brothers movie with John Leguizamo, and oh my gosh, it's so 90s. And the point I wanted to make is it's not like gritty reboot, like the way that we think about gritty reboots nowadays, but it did have very much that 90s aesthetic of the graphics, the saturation, the coloration, the way it was shot, the plot line. It was just very of that time where people like I said, we didn't do gritty reboots. Like now when we do gritty reboots, we do gritty reboots. But back then it was kind of like a half-assed version of a gritty reboot. So you had this kind of version of Super Mario Brothers as live action. It kind of wanted to be edgy in that 90s way, and it just really comes off extremely cringe now. It's just extremely dated. But it's I hadn't thought about that in ages, and I'm oh my god, yeah, this actually was pretty shitty.
Yeah,
actually.
I mean, look, you want to move. I don't know how to do this, but you were saying you don't. You forgot how commercialized it was, and so I went over to my shelf and I brought over this.
Yes.
Hold on, I'll show you. This is something I own. It is a Happy Meal box.
When is that from? Do you know what year?
1990. What year did it come out?
1991. Looking at the graphics on it, it's got to be that's from the original game, isn't it?
No, it's
or
Super Mario Brothers 3. It's a Super
3?
Mario Brothers 3. Yes, someone bought this. Okay, so someone bought this for my birthday.
Okay.
This is 1990, so it was 90-91,
okay.
Right? So this is from 1990-1991, and someone bought this for me for my birthday because I had mentioned to them that I'd love this as a kid, and it's not just a box.
You
it
have
is
the
the
toys.
I have the full set. The full set of toys in box of all of the So okay, I'll show
I
you
feel,
because
like I feel like I'm like touching an
no,
artifact.
because there's
like
the
I should have on gloves.
no,
or
no, no. That's the
something.
beauty. There's the full set is in there, and I believe there's a
Oh
spare
my
of
God,
every single
they're
one.
Still packaged.
Yeah. See, you see, they're still
They're
packaged.
still packaged.
I don't even take this out to look at, but like, see, there's like
Okay, show this one. Show this one. Because this is the first time that we had Mario in the raccoon suit.
Yeah, it's
which actually is part of the movie as well. They definitely did the raccoon.
It's
suit.
Raccoon Mario, and I had this as a kid. This specific one I had where you kind of stick it down and it slowly unsticks and then does a little.
He flies. Oh my God!
Yeah, and there's a Goomba that you wind up and it walks, and there's like
I remember that Goomba.
A Luigi on a cloud. And that was, again, the marketing for this game back then was unending. I had
my God.
Mario vitamin chewables and everything. Everything.
Like Haze of Time, I just kind of forgotten about it. But yeah, like that really took me back. It was like there was Super Mario everything. Can you please stop? My God.
I just forgot that it was on.
Put the camera away. You
be,
cannot be trusted.
I had to be juvenile just for a minute.
40-year-old man here with his Happy
Mario,
Meal box.
With his Mario Happy Meal.
But no, that's really cool. I cannot believe you have a full set of the toys still in package.
Yeah.
That is your retirement plan.
Gem mint condition. The Wizard, yeah, exactly. And the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, right? Which I loved, and they kind of reference in the movie.
Yeah, see, that's the fun of this movie. Like, people talk about, like, okay, the plot's thin, like, okay, whatever. I wasn't expecting Citizen Kane here. It's the Mario Brothers movie. That's first off, stop it with that. The point of this movie is that it is an absolute 1000% nostalgia trip, and they do it extremely well. Like, there is one scene in this movie where they're underwater and they play the music from Dire Dire Docks. I had not heard that music in at least 20 years, and as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh my God, it's the water music theme from Super Mario 64. Holy shit. There's so many like moments like that in the movie where they really like, it is not just that they just did like, you know, the first 3 Super Mario Brothers games. It's the whole lexicon that they drew from, and they brought in so many elements, and there's so many like, I don't even want to call them Easter eggs because it's not really meant to be like an Easter egg. It's meant to be like, obviously for you to like remember and enjoy stuff. To the point where, like, I kind of do wonder if somebody who isn't familiar with these games would really enjoy this movie. But I've seen people comment on it that
not an
like,
adult. That's the thing. I said
not. I mean, maybe not an adult.
It's a movie that doesn't feel the need to like make adult jokes that kids don't get. You know, a la like a Shrek or whatever. It's like it's a movie for kids. Period. If your kid doesn't like Mario, they're probably still going to like this movie. If you're an adult who doesn't like Mario, there's nothing here for you. Well, see, you're not going to get a lot of like subtle Mario is coming in Bowser's ear joke or whatever. They're not going to do that.
Right. And kind of the funny thing about this movie is you say it's for kids. And I technically, yes, but this is also a movie that hits a very kind of interesting spot in pop culture where if you are somebody who is our age or even a little older, like in most people who are our age and a little bit older, have kids who are at the age where they're playing Mario games. So it is something like you can take your kid and they can enjoy that, but you go as somebody who has played Mario ever since the OG Nintendo platform. You go and you watch this movie and you can find it extremely enjoying as well because you understand all the references that are being made and you understand like the little visual and audio cues that are present in the movie and you're like, ah!
Oh, Coach Diz, 44 months in a row. Thank you very much. That's not ambitious crossover attempt. I get that money. Shut up, Jen.
Hey, fuck you.
That's mine. Mine. You know that one of the best Looney Tunes cartoons of all time, the one with like Hassan Chop, right? Where he's like, mine, go, mine. That one is like, open sesame. But like I said, it doesn't have adult jokes in it. That's the thing.
No, there's no like veiled sexual humor
No,
or anything
it
like that.
appeals to the adults on the nostalgia level alone. Like
Right.
that's the thing, and it's not afraid to just be kids movie. And I thought that was fine. I didn't need, like I said, I didn't need Bowser making some kind of reference to, I don't know what, Lady Gaga or I don't know,
Right.
whatever, something like that, making some kind of Dennis, like the famous old obscure Dennis Miller jokes. You know, Bowser looks to the camera and says something like, something about Zelensky. I don't know, whatever. Like, you know,
No,
I'm glad they
it's
didn't.
nothing- Yeah, it's something like that. And it's like the only thing that's kind of, I mean, it's not questionable if you know kind of the lore of Mario games, but one of the biggest plot points in this movie, and it's not spoilers because it's been discussed at this point, but it leans into the part of the sort of the Mario backstory where Bowser is trying to kidnap Princess Peach because he wants to marry her. And so if you're not familiar with that, you're going to be like, what the fuck is going on here? And I'm fascinated that they decided to go in that direction because that has always been a very controversial part of sort of the Mario game backstory, is when they made that shift from Bowser just basically wanting to kidnap Princess Peach because he's, you know, an evil guy and wants to do evil things, to he wants to kidnap her because he's like in love with her and wants to marry her. And it's like, it's kind of like, yeah, wow.
I guess that's why Grace Randolph thought the movie was problematic. But here's I thought this was hilarious. So in the Mario movie, there's a Freedom Tower in their commercial. So someone was like, canonically, 9/11 happened in the Mario universe, right?
Right.
And I said, to me to this day, one of the freakiest fucking things ever is the fact that in the Mario movie in 1993, Bowser's plan is to like merge the other dimension with our dimension. And when that happens, like their skyline starts to merge with our skyline, and then you see this.
Bowser did 9/11.
This image is in a movie from 1993, okay?
Now we know who really did 9/11.
Look how weirdly, crazily it looks like the 9/11
That's
thing, right?
That's kind of fucked up to look at.
Because
now.
because in the Mario movie, the other dimension is like polluted. They have like better technology, but there's like pollution and everything is kind of decrepit and whatever. But yeah, I still think that's fucking insane. And so yeah, and it's even funnier now that in this movie there's like a Freedom Tower.
Right. So, like I said, it's like it does exist in our current era. Like, because the way they do the movie is like, okay, they start with Mario and Luigi being here on Earth in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term. Like,
It's an
they're
isekai.
here, yeah.
They
They're here, and then through a series of events, they end up in, well, Mario ends up in the Mushroom Kingdom, Luigi ends up separated, and the whole story is they got to get back together and do. That's kind of the whole plot line. But yeah, it doesn't start with like, oh, they're just two humans randomly in the Mushroom Kingdom. How did they get there?
Some
Well,
people kind of wanted that. They were like, they didn't want it to be an isekai. They were like, it doesn't matter. But again, I thought they did it fine. This little shot that we're watching right now is one of a few parts in the movie that have a 2D platformy kind of scene.
There's a few scenes like this where it's shot as like a side scroller. And again, it's one of those like visual nostalgia cues that when you see it, you're like, oh my God, they're mimicking the original Mario gameplay.
And there's like fun story reasons for these things to be happening. Like
Right, it's not just random. Like, oh, we're just gonna have a scene where we're doing like a side scrolly thing.
Because in the movie Doom, right, the Doom movie with The Rock and Carl Urban, they do a first-person shooter scene. I remember when I went to see that in the movie and how ridiculous, and it's really bad. And aside from it being bad, there is no reason to do it. It's just stylistically. Carl Urban gets hit on the head or something like that, and he passes out. And then when he wakes up, it's like in first person, and then he looks into the mirror, and he's like Doom guy, and it's like, you know, I bet I could find that for us too to kind of laugh about. And then the rest, it looks like a weird one of those like first person like theme park rides or like a laser tag thing. I'll show you in a second. It's very cringy.
But yeah, there was one scene in the movie even earlier than this when they were still in Brooklyn, like they're trying to like, you know, they're getting their plumbing business off the ground, you know, and all that good stuff. And they have to get to like their first job, and the van breaks down, and so you got to run and you got to get there. And that whole scene is shot as a side scroller scene. It's so fun. Like, it's so cool. But now we're going to look at some cringe.
Yeah, after this ad.
I can't. Why do you not have YouTube Premium?
I don't.
Why?
Well, no, it's a different browser. Even if I had it, I'm like using a different browser so that people don't see my search history. Okay, so I'm not gonna play the whole thing because it's long, but like this is just how it starts, right? Like I said, Carl Urban gets knocked out or whatever, and this is what happens. That guitar hit. Guitar.
God, why were the 90s and 2000s like this?
But
why
like,
why did we endure this?
But look how low rent this looks. Look. See, this looks like this looks like one of those arcade games that has like a gun.
Right.
And
like,
you point it at the screen and like zombies are walking through.
It's the first person shooter perspective, but it makes no sense in a movie. It makes sense in a video game, but it doesn't make sense like in a movie.
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn this down so that it kind of plays as we talk. But yeah, look, and it's just so utterly absurd.
Again, like this feels forced in a way that like in the Mario movie, like when they do these little references and when they have these little visual and audio cues, it's not forced.
Coochie Gopi Glow in the Dark says, "Oh man, I thought the Doom FPS scene was the best part of that movie. It was. But we're grading on a curve here, right? It's not exactly a high bar to clear. Oof, that was a exploding head.
Lord.
But that was just a long-winded way of saying this movie has a bunch of gameplay things that are actually make sense. Kind of like in The Last of Us. They also kind of contrived good ways where all of a sudden you were like, holy shit, I'm watching gameplay. I didn't even realize I was watching gameplay.
Right. And it's just like, this movie is fun. Like, it's fun. And I think, do we want to talk about, like, the general reactions to this movie about people, like, the woke versus anti-woke thing about this movie? Because it's really, it's
weird because on the one hand, a lot of people attribute its success to its not being woke. But then the woke, like the anti-woke YouTubers still think it's fucking woke. Shad and whatever.
It's neither. It's fucking neither. It's just a Mario movie. Can we not?
Woke is not. I'll tell you what woke is not. Because, you know, there's a lot of always, you know, because now the whole thing is like define woke, right? There was that whole mini cycle about tell me what woke is. Mm-hmm. What woke isn't is every time a girl does a thing. Right. Because the complaint, I guess, was that she's a girl boss, but
yeah, because Princess Peach, I mean, technically it's the Mario Brothers movie, and yeah, you could say Mario is the protagonist, but I would say Peach is just as much a protagonist.
Super Mario Brothers 2, a game that came out in 1986, which was when most of the people who were complaining that this movie is woke were not even fucking born yet, had Princess Peach as a playable character, and she was better than the other characters because she could do like a float. Like each of the characters had a little thing that they did better than other things.
Right, like her dress kind of floated.
And she could do like a floaty jump. Yeah. And so the idea that Peach is just the object of Mario's affection, the target of has literally been untrue for like most of the life of this franchise.
Plus, it's always been a controversial topic, even before this movie. I mean, people act like this is like something brand new, like the topic of Princess Peach and how her treatment is either like controversial because it's kind of playing into gender stereotypes and how like she's always getting kidnapped and she always needs to get saved. And then we had the part where like again, it's part of this movie where Bowser's kidnapping her because he's secretly in love with her and he wants to force her to marry him. And it's always been kind of problematic. But I mean, this movie isn't. It's neither. It's neither. It's just a fucking Mario movie. Like I can't. Can we please not?
Yeah, it was. It that's the thing. It did not delve. It addressed all of these things on a very superficial kid level. He's a bad guy and he wants to marry the princess. The end, like that's it. We don't need to interrogate the social politics of this.
No,
monster wants to, like this is it's a tale as old as like fucking Frankenstein, right? Or I don't know what. Like it isn't. And so when people try to do that, in a movie that's not trying to do anything with it, the only character arc in this movie really is Mario and Luigi's family think they're not smart to have begun their own plumbing business, and by the end it's like, oh, I guess you did. Following your dreams is a good thing.
Look at my boys.
Yeah, it's like that's literally the moral of the story is following your dreams is a good thing.
Right.
The end. That's it. That there is no need to look too deeply into it more than that. Because that's a nice positive message for the kids,
Right. I mean, and honestly, Princess Peach, she is the princess of, the Mushroom Kingdom, and it's like she's doing like princess stuff, like obviously like, oh, my kingdom's under threat, so I need to go and raise an army.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like get into
right,
that because that starts getting spoilery. It's like, but yeah, I gotta go like raise an army. I gotta like protect my people. So I'm gonna go forth.
Princess Peach Targaryen had to travel to the east to raise
like,
an army to take back Westeros.
Yeah, because I don't want my people, my little toad people, to get squashed and killed. Like that's part of just being. That's part of the job, and so she's doing that, and it's like. People talk about like, oh, this is somehow emasculating to Mario because she like literally has to teach him how to do things
in a world that
he literally isn't from.
Yeah, she lives in a video game world and he lives in Brooklyn, and she literally like the only joke was like she was like she said something like, I've lived here my whole life, and he was like, you got it the first time, didn't you? She's like, I totally got it the first time, but so again, it was a gag, and he like the trailer makes him look like a klutz, but he never is. Like in literally one of the first scenes of the movie, he's running through the streets in another one of these like 2D kind of scenes, and Luigi's more of the klutz. Mario knows what he's doing. There was not enough Luigi in this, but because this is the one complaint that I have, but it's a dumb complaint, is that they really rush through a lot of stuff. Like, they get through a ton of shit in this one movie. It almost feels like Nintendo, as weird as this sounds, were not confident that this movie would do well, so they would like, let's put everything in it right now. Except that now you're going to get a million of these, right? It did well enough to make more, so there's going to be Luigi's Mansion, and we're going to see all kinds of other Mario shit. So
they actually kind of did touch on Luigi's Mansion there for a second.
Oh, yeah, I know what I mean. They'll probably do like a whole Luigi's Mansion movie. Like, this was like they referenced it, right? And yeah, like King Boo was there at the end and stuff like that. But like, you're going to get sick of Mario movies at this point. So like, if you felt like underserved by something in it, don't worry about that. We're probably going to get a Zelda movie too. I don't know how I feel about that, because that could go either way. Because there's good and bad ways, because a voiced Link existed. There was an animated show,
right.
and there, and like that stuff has existed.
Just don't do live action.
Metroid is not going to work. Metroid is too dark. But yeah, like more Donkey Kongs and Kirby's and all kinds of stuff like that. Nintendo, they can do like an Undertale. I don't know. Nintendo has lots of stuff to draw from. But yeah, Mario 2. What will they call it? That'll be funny. There was a lot of like Doki Doki Panic. The Japanese are going to get a different Mario 2 movie than us. Theirs is going to be harder. Something like that. But I do not resent this movie's success at all. I'm glad that Illumination made a movie that looks nice, for sure. I thought the music was really good. Like, again, it incorporated lots of different themes, maybe that you wouldn't expect from different games you wouldn't expect. Yeah, good stuff all around.
Yeah, again, just like a reminder when you're watching this movie of, again, how iconic so much of the Mario franchise is. Not just, I mean, obviously people think about Mario music, you think about like the main theme, but like I pointed out, like the scene where they had Dire Dire Docks playing in the background. There's a few scenes like that where they grab music from various levels in Mario games. And like the minute you hear it, you can immediately place it. And that's kind of amazing when you think about it, especially if you're talking about something that's like, 30 years old, and like all of a sudden you hear that music, like, oh my God, I know exactly what that's from. It's kind of cool, and I like how they kind of incorporated everything. And again, it's a fun movie.
It's very odd that a franchise about a weirdly cartoony Italian plumber like sort of has this kind of staying power, right?
And even to the big controversy going into this, which was the Mario voice.
Oh yeah.
Like, okay, most of the movie Mario has a normal person voice, but there are scenes where they do the Mario voice, and I'm like, okay, if they did the Mario voice for the whole movie, that would be kind of annoying.
It would be kind of annoying. He did a good job. I still think there's a possibility that they retooled it.
Possibly.
And I'll tell you what another hint is. Chris Pratt actually said in an interview recently.
Even in this clip that we're showing right now,
yeah.
Obviously we get a lot of Mario Kart here.
Yes,
we get like a whole Mario Kart scene.
Sure. And Chris Pratt said in an interview that initially he tried to do it, a Mario voice, and the producers were like, no, that's too Tony Soprano or something like that. And I said, that story sounds an awful lot like a subtle admission that maybe they had to redo the voice. But I don't care if they did or didn't. Like, I thought the results were good. The results were good for everyone. I even thought Seth Rogen was fine, even though he said famously that he never does a voice. He doesn't do voices. He just does his own voice. In Invincible. You seem pretty vincible to me. That was one of the best lines. But I thought everybody did a good job. And, yeah, I think Chris Pratt, people are like, he deserves an apology. My problem was that he seemed very unexcited to promote it. It seemed like he was very... Like he didn't give a shit about it, whereas, maybe if someone was a legitimately giant Mario fan for real, you would have felt that. But I don't feel it on screen. Like, I didn't feel any lack of enthusiasm in the movie.
And again, that might have come down to the uncertainty that you were pointing out earlier about how Nintendo writ large, and maybe even Pratt, not really knowing how this movie was going to be received, how well it was going to do. I mean, it is doing extremely well. And as far as the Mario voice is concerned, like, another thing I was thinking about, like, okay, if you tried to do, like, the Mario 64 voice, I don't know how well that would be received nowadays, because it is kind of really, it's a me, Mario! Like, it is kind of stereotypical, and I don't know if you can really do that.
And Charles Martinet, who does that, he's the guy who does that.
Yeah.
Wahoo! He was in it.
There's a couple of wahoos in there, too. It's there.
There's about 15 Mamma Mias, which are always very funny. But, like, Charles Martinet does, like, their family, like Mario and Luigi's family members who are more Italian than they are. And they do the stereotypical voices in their, like, TV commercial. And then they said, why are you doing the voice? Why are you speaking with the voices like that? Yeah, like, there's a lot of funny, like, ways to bring things about in this, I thought. Yeah, and I said it's creative. It's interesting. Amazingly, because, I was talking about that movie Elemental. I mean, you want to get into that? I think I don't know how much longer we're going to go. But I don't think we need to do a watch of it. Maybe we can save that for next week. But there's a new Pixar movie called Elemental. And the trailer for it...
And you've seen it before.
Exactly.
You've seen it before.
It's about one of those,
it's a stratified, segregated society.
Sally is a member of District 3, and Peter is a member of District 5. But in this dystopian world, members of different districts aren't allowed to mix, right? It's every YA dystopia YA is like that. Now every Pixar movie is like that, right? And so this one, it's about the elements. She's a fire and he's a water. How will they ever get along?
I totally just want to make, like, astrology jokes right now. He's a Scorpio and she's a Leo. How are they ever going to make it work?
His moon is in Mercury.
Her Your rising sign is Sagittarius, and his is Virgo.
And it's like everyone wants to be making a movie where the message is racism bad is not like an achievement in the year 2023. I was just bringing this up to mention that this felt more creative to me, despite the fact that it's just a bunch of references, right? But they're done creatively.
But they're good.
Yes,
they're done well.
Meanwhile, Elemental is some kind of original property from Pixar, and it just feels like something I've seen a million billion times already.
Like, oh my God, these two casts, they cannot socialize, but these two fall in love. What's going to happen next? And you already know what's going to happen next because you've seen this movie like 15 times.
It's going to work out.
It's going to work out. Everybody's going to get over it.
They're going to have little...
And all of a sudden, like, society's going to get integrated.
They're going to have little steam babies or whatever. That's what it'll be. There'll be little puffs of steam or something like that. Little clouds of steam.
They're going to have little interracial babies and everybody will be fine.
Exactly.
Whatever.
I think I'm going to start playing the outro music as we talk. There we go. It's going to pop up back in.
Damn, we should have did Peaches.
Peaches, 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 peaches.
Yeah, because that's kind of like a side note about this movie is that Bowser's a total simp.
Let's get together and do an ambitious crossover at that Peaches.
That's basically what he's asking for, really.
Anyway, that was good. We didn't end up playing anything, but yeah, who cares? That was not the thing.
We looked at things.
Exactly. We looked at things. We talked about things. Like we're gonna. I don't know. Well, we're gonna test this out. This is there's a lot of flexibility to this in terms of what we can talk about, what we can show you. I love that I can just pop stuff up on screen and we can show stuff to the people here. So yeah, thank you for listening. Plugs?
Do I do the plugs? Okay,
the
fine.
plugs?
I'll do the plugs. Whatever. We'll pretend like this is normal. I'll do the plugs. Anyway, hi, you're here. Our main podcast, Ambitious Crossover Attempt, drops on Mondays, and now that we're on Twitch here, I have to explain to you where to find podcasts. Although you probably know where to find podcasts. You can either search for us by Ambitious Crossover Attempt on whatever podcast catcher you like, or you can find us on, Google, Apple, Spotify, Amazon/Audible, all that good stuff. Call in. I don't know. Normally Wednesday nights at 8:30. I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, TBD. You can find us on Twitter at AMBXover. You can find me on Twitter at @JenMonroe and on Substack and now Substack Notes because that is super fun.
Oh yeah.
JenMonroe.substack.com.
I'm Neon Taster on Twitter and also youtube.com/Neon Taster. And if you're watching this now, obviously twitch.tv/Neon Taster. And YouTube. Ambitious Crossover Attempt on YouTube, which is where these things are gonna live, and maybe eventually where we'll just do them directly instead of Twitch and then on the thing. I'm just trying to make some.
We don't know.
The mid-roll ads are playing. I'm making money that Jen doesn't get to see, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. I don't know. Should I do a little webcam goodbye?
Oh look, but somebody says these are fun.
I know. Thank you, Henry
These are
Kinkler.
fun.
Here's me. Here's me. I'm okay going on cam for a second. There you go.
I mean, I am sweaty and gross. I've been sweaty all day. Like, I'm not going on cam right now.
That's fine. I'm not making any demands. The room is full of people. There's a whole crowd of people here. And,
a whole crowd of
yes,
people.
They're just out of frame laughing too.
Hey, so there's plenty of other people here. They're just out of frame, laughing. Do the face.
It's the Neon Fielder. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you next time. Have a good night. Bye. Bye, Jen. Bye.
Bye. Night, everybody.